Mercury in the third house. With Mercury in the third house, you spend a lot of your time interested in learning environment, short vacations, and in lots of communications. It can be an inventive placement and will symbolize somebody with beautiful flair with words, reads constantly, and is the eternal student of the world. The mind loves to engage in knowledge and use the intellect, concepts, and is often the case learning something, and with ease. Mercury here can show funny, curious, fluent, and interesting personality. The mind has a youthful coloring, tending to easily move across information, and the attention is tapped into the mutable flow of learning, processing, dispensing information, and meditating and exchanging ideas. The expression of thoughts is important, and the type will have plenty of mental abilities and alert, with a strong need to know what is going on in the environment. The third house rules all way of communications. Speech, writing, and reporting information. Mercury here is an excellent position for the writer or communicator of any time comedians. This part of the chart shows a need to look into the environment and to learn the names of everything. Bridge of language. It is the first air sign that also reflects our perceptions of life and the way we experience the world directly through the mind. The intellect has abilities in the areas of perception, classifications, and with the skill, all various information which you come into contact with on your travels. In astrology, the third house has to do with the miraculous speed of all networking abilities. The need to get knowledge is also a means of understanding the world. The house of learning shows the vital need to communicate and offers a glimpse into how well we do with social interactions as we experience it first through school and our siblings. It is thought that these early social relationships and often interactions color and shape all later and relevant relational skills. Mercury aspects and planets in the third house tell the story of how we experience language, communication, socializing early in life. Researchers have greatly emphasized the importance of skills developed in early social interactions, and these form a foundation for later development and how we easily participate. The third house can reveal whether we have a confidence in this area, if there are severe disruptions, trauma, deep and complex emotional problems and communications that are still holding us back today. The important first steps in language and social interaction leading up to all social ladder relationships begin with this realm. The third house is also where we learn from each other. It can be the labels we pin onto each other and the ability for language development. Mercury is the messenger of the gods and a translator. It symbolizes our ability to connect one thing to another, and the aspects to this planet will tell us how we communicate. A strong Mercury in the chart gives a highly curious nature and thirst for knowledge. Many of the gods and goddesses are portrayed as youthful seekers of new information and experiences. When we are in contact with that part of ourselves when we are younger students, no matter what our actual age, because we are on the lookout for new horizons and are willing to move toward them. The problems come out when it's time to stop. Mercury keeps us going on, spotless and speedy. It is that function that brought us language, alphabets, academic learning, and manual skills. That part of the self keeps swift and adept at picking up new knowledge, skills, and tricks. With your Mercury in the third house, you may become easily restless or bored, but it is also a lot of mobility, and daily happenings often involve letters, phone calls, books, magazines, writing, or talking. It may show a possibility of working in the media with phones or computers. Mercury is in its own house in the third, so there's greater emphasis on needing the environment. There is usually a natural flair for learning, and it can be the placement of early development and communication, or someone who is talkative, who delights in making contacts with others. Ideas and thinking quickly on your feet is another part of Mercury in this position of your chart. Mercury here begins with ideas, thoughts, and everything to have the conversation happening. It is a placement that wants to gather knowledge, and it can show earning potential in trade, negotiations, transport, journalism. You can quickly speak the language of others. Usually the urge is to make contact with as many subjects as possible and to talk about it because you are always interested in understanding the language. Talking, reading are the most delighted parts of life, and the ease and speed at which words are formed reveals that the mind really does have wings.